Well, it may be Mother's Day today, but you know what they say, there's never any rest for the mother. Because if your kids are around, they're hungry. And as you might guess, my kids are downstairs watching TV, and I think they want a man-size appetizer. So here we go. I'm still a survivor in the Paula Deen search for the next Woman of Philadelphia cooking contest. So one more time I'm going to try with an appetizer. You know, green beans are probably the most universally loved vegetable that there is. But have you ever heard anyone say they love green beans? I don't think I have until I came up with this recipe. So make sure you've got a pen and paper. Let's get started. And I'm going to show you today how to make fried green beans. Let's get started. Today's recipe requires the following ingredients. Fresh green beans. I have on occasion tried a canned green bean. It'll work, but they're not nearly as good, and they're not crispy, and you're not as able to eat them as a finger food. So I would recommend fresh green beans, mayonnaise, Philadelphia cream cheese, and if you all haven't discovered the handy little snack size, I keep them on hand not only for snacks, but when I'm in a hurry with a recipe. I know exactly how much is in this pre-measured little handy container. Ranch dressing mix, any kind, the dry mix, flour, cayenne pepper, cooking oil, and water. Let's get started by washing our green beans. We have washed the green beans with cold water at this point, and of course we need to cut off the stems. As you can tell, I'm trying to do them as a group because I want to keep these a uniform size so that they will cook a little more evenly. And then you can go back and cut the few that you missed. There we go. We are now ready. Are those not pretty green beans? Now let's get started making our batter. In this bowl, I have put 1 cup of flour, 1/2 teaspoon cayenne pepper, salt to taste, and 2 tablespoons of Philadelphia cream cheese. Now let's start mixing this up just a little bit. It doesn't take long as you have softened your cream cheese ahead of time. And then I mix to that 1/2 cup of water. What we are doing here basically is making a batter that we are going to put the green beans in. We don't want it to have lumps, of course. So stir it just a little bit until it's nice and smooth. Your mixture should be starting to look something like this. There we go. It is thick. That is exactly how I want it, because the green beans are kind of slick, and it's a little difficult to keep the batter on them while we're frying them, so I make the batter itself very, very thick. What we're going to do is, I almost have to do it individually, is you stick the green bean in, make sure that it has batter all the way around. Bring the green bean out. It should look about like this. I bring it over to a flour bowl that I have. Place the remaining 1 cup of flour in, and also the ranch dressing, the dry dressing that I've told you about. And we are going to mix that up. And you wonder why I'm doing this, the double bath. The batter, of course, is very tasty. And if we put it in the flour next, it helps the batter to stay on the green bean while we're frying it. So after I have done this, I just kind of make a pile of green beans that have had both the batter and the flour bath. And I have, experience has taught me that the batter stays on the green bean better when it is frying if one leaves them in the flour or leaves that setting for at least 1 minute. In other words, you don't want to dip the green bean in the flour and immediately into your cooking oil, or you'll lose all the batter and the crispiness. We're getting ready to fry our green beans. Rather than having the thermometer test, one of the things that I do is just drop a piece of the batter into the oil. If it bubbles around it and begins to fry, you know that your oil is hot enough to fry your green beans. I have 2 cups of cooking oil in here. You may not need entirely that much, but you need enough to totally cover the green beans. My oil is hot enough now, so I very carefully place the green beans in the cooking oil. As you can hear, it's starting to bubble, pop up. And I'm going to place about half of the green beans in there at one time. At this point, I'm going to turn my heat down just a little. While they are cooking, I turn them. I make sure that the grease is frying both sides of the green bean. They smell good. These are going to be tasty. The guys in my basement are going to decide green beans are the best thing ever. And we fry them until they're golden brown. They're almost there. I need to turn some of them and get the other side browned a little bit more. In the meantime, have some paper towels ready or napkins, something to drain the fried green beans on. Our second batch of green beans are frying. Let me tell you that I took the other 2 ounces of cream cheese and the remaining mayonnaise, mixed it with the other half of the ranch dressing mix, and have whipped it together here so that we have a dipping sauce that is going to be quite tasty for our green beans. And here we have them, our good, gotta have 2, sorry, fried green beans. Green beans like you've never tasted them before. This is an individual serving. A great finger food. And guess what? You're getting a serving of vegetables. And we're not counting the fat calories. Okay, Paula, Deen, if you haven't tried this one, you've got to. Fried green beans. How southern is that? Hope this one gets me to Savannah. This is Kay Lee from Kansas City. Thank you for joining me today.